Now let us see about the views in the Databricks. Let me open the notebook here, new notebook. I'm talking about the views, guys, views. So if you remember, as I told you, at the top level, you have a meta store, and then you have a catalogs within that. Then catalog contains the schemas or the databases. Within the databases, you have an objects like a table, views, and functions. So we have talked in detail about the tables. I have a separate video on that, guys. I'll share you the link. You can just check what is the hierarchy of the Databricks, what are the data objects, and what are the tables. We talked in detail about what is managed table and what is your external table. Now let us look at the views. So let me connect my cluster here. Yeah, cool. Now when it comes to views, there are three types of views in Databricks. You can create three types of views. So first one, I can call it as a standard view, standard view. Second is your temporary view. I can call it as a temp view, and the third is global temp view. So as you can see, both are temporary view and one is a standard view that is persisted in your schema. So let us take a simple example on a data frame, and then we'll see how to create a different type of views. So when it comes to views, we have two ways you can create a views. You can do it by Python style, or you can do it by SQL style. So I'll explain both the ways and how to create a views in Databricks. So for that, first I need a data frame to go it by data frame style, or if you want it by SQL style, you need a table. Okay, so I'll just pick one sample data set from the Databricks datasets itself. So once you run %fsls, you will get a list of all the file systems, which are list of all the files which are there inside your dbfs that are mounted, and some sample data sets from the Databricks itself. You can see I'll just get inside this Databricks data sets. Let me get inside this, and now we have like more than 55 data sets. I guess you can see more than 55 data sets are here. So we'll be picking up one of that. So maybe I'll just pick up a folder called a bike sharing. We have one sample data set in this bike sharing. Let me copy this. Inside a bike sharing, we have data 101. Let me copy this. Yeah. So I think we have some CSV files here, day wise and the hour wise. So let me pick a day wise here, and I'll start creating a data frame now. So I'll pick up this data. It is a CSV file, guys. Let me make this as CSV. Okay, I'll create a data frame now, spark dot read dot. I'll take an option. So let me take an header here, header to be true, and let me put it dot option. Let me take an infer schema here, infer schema to be true dot. Okay, cool. So let me execute this. I made a mistake here. Let me cancel out this, and it is a SQL notebook. I need to change this to a Python notebook, guys. Python. Let me run this, and now you can see that we created a data frame successfully. Yeah, a data frame is created with correct headers, column headers, and so on. So now my target is to create a view. So I'm talking about the view, guys. First, if you want to create a standard view, like you can first create a table, and from that table you can create a view. So what I'll do, I'll just create a table df dot. I'll just say uh, write dot save as table, and from that table I'll just give a name called bike. Okay, and obviously this goes to a default database, guys. I'll change this to a person python. It is a Yeah, now let me run this. So we got a table now, and that can be seen in your default schema. So let me show it from here directly. In the catalog, in the Hive Meta Store, in your default schema, you can see bike. Okay, so this is your table now. So from this table, can I create a view? So first, let me show you. Select star from, I can directly pick it from here. Yeah, it takes a 3 level namespace, that is your schema name and the table name, and you got your table here. You can see that. Cool. So now what I'll do, I'll just quickly write some where clause here. Like I'll use a filter here where I'll just write, let me check what all things we have here. So we have seasons here, maybe season 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So what I'll do, I'll just take up where your season is equal to 1. Okay, so let me copy this and paste it here and then execute it. So yeah, it got executed. There are 181 rows here out of 731, and you can see season is 1 year. So what I'll do, guys, if I want to save this as a view, very simple. In SQL we do that. So just we write a create view, and just we write view name. So let me write a view name as bike season 1 as select. That's it. So create view bike season view name as select star from your table name where your season is equal to 1. So we have done some filtering on top of that bike table, and then we are creating a view for that result set. So let me execute this, and you got an okay here. So what does it mean? So let me quickly refresh the catalog, and now you can see you got bike season 1. So this is your view. So view that got persisted inside your catalog, inside your schema. That is, now what is view, guys? View is nothing but just a virtual table. It does not take up any space. So let me show you in this catalog explorer here. Let me check your bike season 1. Yeah, it's got updated now. So when I click on this, I can see there is a delta table, there is a size for this, and so on. But when I click on bike season 1, this is just a view. You can see you got a symbol here. It is a view, and there is no space allotted to you, and there is no delta format and so on. This is just a view. So I can call this as a standard view. This is how the view is created. It's just a virtual table, and there is no space allotted to this view. So we got a view now.
One second.
Okay, the view is created, guys. Let us use one script here. So you can see I am in the SQL notebook, and my command line is still showing me the SQL. So I'll just write
Naval,
show
share your screen.
views.
Share your screen.
Let me use show views now. Show views, and let me execute this, and you can see you will get a view name. Like Amol has also created a view. Cool, no worries. That is in the default database, and the name of the view is bike season 1. And is it temporary? It is saying false. Hey, it's not temporary. It is permanent. It means it got persisted here. It stays into this schema, and in this catalog it remains here. Okay, why I'm telling you this? Because first one, as I've told you, it is a standard view. It is not temporary. It remains here. It persists into the schema. Okay, that is about the standard view. Now let me proceed further to the temporary view. So as you can see, there are two types of temporary views. One is global temp, and one is your normal temp view. So when it comes to temporary view, you can use both SQL style and you can use data frame style to create this view. So let me show you both the things here. First, by using data frame style. So you have a data frame now. Then someone might say that why do you need to create a view? See, I just want to create a view just to convert this data frame to a table. Means not actual table. It should look like a table. I should work on it. So you get an option to create it as a view. So once you can create a virtual table, and then you can start querying it by writing a SQL queries. And you want to do some changes, you can do it, and then you can write it. So that's the reason why we need a view in between before you writing to a final table. So if you write to a table, it is a table that gets persisted, and you need a space, storage, and all those things. But between that, if you can create a view and write a query, you can create a temporary view on top of a data frame. So it will start in this way. So let me show you. It is a Python code. So let me change this to Python, and let me write df dot. It will start with create, create temporary view. Actually, you get an IntelliSense, but I'm not getting. So create temporary view. But when you like, if already a temporary view is created, you can just use create or replace temporary view. Replace temporary view. So the syntax looks very similar. Create or replace temporary view. It works like a camel case, and then just give a name of the view, what name you want. So I'll just write bike view, and then let me execute this. So a view will be created. Just try to understand, guys. A view will be created. This view is just a temporary means this is valid only to this notebook, and it is valid only till this cluster is running. When the cluster gets terminated, you won't able to get this view back. So okay, I got a view now. That is just a temporary view. Can I start querying on top of it? Yes, you can do it. Same like how we do in your SQL views. So select star from your table or a virtual view, temporary view, and you can see that you got your entire result set. Wow, you can see that 731 rows, and it looks like a table. You can do querying it, you can filter it, you can do sorting, all those things on top of this view. Now let me go back and write or use show views. Now let me run the same command here. So if you remember, we got one more view here saying it's a bike view. So now if you ask that is this temporary, it says true, it is just a temporary. So once you terminate the cluster, or once you out of this Spark session, you won't able to see the, or you won't able to access that view. So this is how the temporary view are created by using a data frame. Now, can I create a temporary view by using a table? Yes, you can do that by using a SQL style. So you can see you got this. Now I'll just, when you write create view, this will create a standard view. It gets persisted. Now if I write create instead of view, you can just write create temp view, then write a view name. So bike view 2 as select star. So when you run this, you end up getting a temporary view with a name called view by 2, or you can write create or replace temporary view with a view name as select star. So let me execute this. So there will be one more view that is created from this season 1. So the name of that view will be bike 2. So I'm just explaining you how you can create a temporary view by using a SQL, by using a data frame, both the ways. So now let me execute this. We end up getting 4 views now. You can see that 4 views. This bike 2 view got created by using SQL. This is by using a data frame or Python, and both are temporary only. Temporary only. So this is how you can create a temporary view. So in Databricks, apart from your standard view and temporary view, we have one more view called as a global temp view. So it is just a same like a temporary view, but it is global. So first we'll try to understand why there is a need of global temp view. So just imagine that I created a view, and the view name is, I'm creating a temporary view, and that view name is bike view and bike view 2. Suppose I want to access this, so I can easily do it in the same notebook as I told you. And just in case, suppose let me go back to the workspace here and get a new session. I want to create a new notebook here. So someone is working for me in the other notebook. So I created a new session now. just to verify this. Okay, so this is just to test. Let me write it test. Now if I write, let me attach the cluster, and now let me write select star from that bike view. Let me execute this. You should get an error that bike view is a view or table that is not found. Obviously, as I've told you, the temporary views are only valid up to that particular session or that particular notebook. So if you are going out of that notebook, you won't able to access that views. So in this case, or in this scenario where you want to use it in other notebook, you can create a global temporary view. There comes a picture of global temporary view. So if you create a view that gets saved inside a cluster, and that can be accessed throughout that cluster, like whatever the notebooks that are attached to that cluster, all can use that views. Again, it is a temporary view only, guys. It is just a temporary view, but that can be accessed to other notebooks also. So what I'll do, just to save some time, I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. And now instead of create or replace temporary view, I would like to write it here, create or uh, create or replace global temp view. Let me write here global. Actually, you'll get an IntelliSense here. I'm using a SQL notebook, so I might not end up getting a IntelliSense, but still, this is correct. Create or replace global temp view, and I'll just write a name here with bike global view. Let me write it like global view. Let me run this, and you will end up getting a temporary view, but that is global. Now let me use show views. Let me execute this. Now you might be wondering, like, we created a global view, but I cannot see that global view here. You can see there is no name called by global view. So guys, just remember, whenever you are creating a global view, you need to use a namespace that is called global temp. Unless and until you use the namespace that is global underscore temp, you won't able to see those views and access that views. So you should write it in this way: show views in global temp. Let me run this now, and you would see that there will be all temporary views. Is it temporary? Yes, everything is temporary. And you can see the bike, I mean view name, it is bike global view, and the namespace is global temp. So you need to remember this. So why I'm telling you this, because just if you are writing, if you want to access that view, select star from the view name. So the view name is our bike global view. If you run this, you will get an error saying that the view not found. You can see that. Why? Because even though we created a global view and we are in the same notebook, so if you are accessing or if you are referring the global temp view, you need to give a namespace called global temp dot bike global view. So this is a namespace we have to use or follow if you are using a global temp view. So let me create this, and you can see you got a table or you got a view from this global view. So what I'm trying to say that if I execute the same in the other notebook, like the test notebook, in the test notebook, you can see in other notebooks, if we are calling just a temporary view, we are not able to do that. But when you calling your global temp dot view, and you can see you can access that. So again, these views are temporary. Once you terminate your cluster, you won't able to access that, but with the help of global view, you can access it in other notebooks also. Now one thing I would like to show you is your catalog explorer, where if you just have a quick refresh, you would see only one view, that is your uh, bike season view, that is your standard view. Your temporary view are not saved anywhere in your hive or in your catalog explorer. So that's all on the views, guys. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this. So if you like the content, please do like the video, share it with your friends. Please do subscribe my to my channel and support me. Thank you again. Keep learning.